What was it like, you know, with the Hullets and Wises, people that you would have seen on TV?
Do you know what? It was quite surreal. Like, when I look back on it, I'd say my upbringing is quite of a privileged one. At the time, you don't really see it. You think, well, I've got this far, I have to, this is my life.
Yes.
So you don't really appreciate it, especially coming from where I come from the area. I just took everything in my stride, and that's why I was in that position. I was buzzing to be there, don't get me wrong, but because I knew I'm going to get there one day in my head, I just took everything with a pinch of salt, and I didn't really appreciate it and live in that moment, which I really, really regret. Having to be around these superstars, having these superstars around me, it just became the norm.
Yeah.
You know, because the under 18s, the under 19s at the time, and the reserves, because we had under 19s, the reserves, and then we had the first team. So there's only 3 tiers, and we're all mixed in one building. So I had Zola around me. I had obviously the Sa'i. I had all the I remember LeBoeuf was there at one stage.
I was looking at the squad list when you got into the reserves, so you were just breaking into it at this point. Names like Baba Yaro.
Baba, yeah.
LeBoeuf.
I've got a story about that as well.
Tell
Baba.
me.
So Baba, so I used to walk to school from Brentford, so I used to walk all the way to school and to Chiswick, and he lived in Chiswick. Now, when you walk past because you walk past Baba's house, he just lived on the left. So you get off sometimes you can walk or you get in the train. You get off the train, it's just one stop, and then you just walk towards the school. And then Baba was known, everyone knew who Baba Yaro was. He played for Chelsea, but he lived in a house on the route to school. And then I used to see him sometimes. He had a lovely car, Jaguar outside the car, nice big ass. And I used to think, that's Baba Yaro's house. I'm going to play with him one day. I'm definitely, because I was at Chelsea at the time. I was in the youth. But not in I was like under 14s, under 13s, 14s, 15s. So that period, I hadn't got to that period where I was going to make it. So I was like, one day I'm going to go knock on his door and just get his autograph. And everyone was going, nah, you'll never do that. You'll never do that. So one day I just went across the road, because we walked on this side of the road. His house was on that side. Okay. So you had to cross the road. And he was near the shops over there. So I just knocked on his door. I said, Baba, can I have your autograph, please? And that's what I was thinking in my head. But the maid answered the door. And she said, he doesn't come to do autographs, because it was quite exposed for a footballer to be living there.
Yeah.
It was quite weird.
To be fair, even at the time, Chelsea's training ground was like a university as well. So it's very different times.
Yeah, it's very different times. So anyway, she went and got him, and then he signed my book. I don't know if I kept it. It might be somewhere still.
Did you tell him after that? Like
so later on I told him. So and I don't think he remembered me, but I think he used to have kids going up to his door all the time when they walk into school. So anyway, later on when I got into the team, I did tell him, as you said, and I told him, I said, listen, you know, I got your autograph one day. I was walking to school and you came out and you was really nice. And that's what memory I had of you. And you're still nice. And it was just amazing that I got to do that. And then you're actually rubbing shoulders with him in the same football team as him. That is like, you're a chosen man. There
are certain images I think of when you told that story. I know yours wasn't photographed, but I remember Pep Guardiola, I think it was going up to Cruyff.
Yeah.
And as a kid.
Yeah.
I saw another picture of Phil Foden as a ball boy, but the one that sticks in my mind, and ironically is Chelsea, is Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah.
He's like this. He's a ball boy, and Samuel Eto'o's coming over to him.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
And it's like,
it's a moment.
But you see Callum Hudson-Odoi's face and how much it means to him.
Yeah, yeah.
He would go on to become professional himself and play for Chelsea, as we know, but just kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, yeah. These things do happen. It's funny when it happens to me as well. So sometimes when you see a young player that's come through, and then I've somehow rubbed shoulders with them, or they've given me a ball, or they've seen me somewhere, and then eventually they're training with me. It's happened a few times. And then I'm thinking, I put myself in their shoes on that Baba scenario.
Yeah.
That sometimes you've got to live your dream, and you just really got to go for it. And just the way that that's why I'm always nice to people. I'm always nice to people, especially the youth, because you never know what they're going to be in the future. And Baba was really nice to me there. If he was really bad to me, then I would have remembered that and I'd have been like, I don't like you.
Yep.
So I always remember, always be nice to people, no matter what, because you never know what's going to happen in the future.
Babayara's won Le Boeuf Desai Poye.
Yeah,
Gus
yeah.
Poyet, who we've worked with several times.
Yeah, Gus Poyet is an unbelievable guy.
Funny guy.
Funny guy, but very positive.
Yes.
Everything he does is positive. And I remember he used to score some bangers. I remember the goal that him and Zola.
Oh.
Remember the chip?
Yes.
And then, it was a great goal. And I was there for that goal.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah, I was there. I was in the crowd. I was watching.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, it was just nice to see. And then eventually being around these guys and playing and training with them, it was great.
Lasso.
Yeah,
Hasselbank.
Graham Lasso is such a great guy as well. Still, to this day, he's not changed.
Yep.
I see him. I was working for TV. I was doing some broadcasting, and he was doing broadcasting for his respective broadcasters. And we're just going through the old times of what you used to be like at Chelsea, and he was just a great guy to be around as well. He's not changed one bit. He's just a positive guy. And that whole era, it was a great time to be a Chelsea person, because the Chelsea player, even the staff, I'm still in contact with till this day, and we all get along. And it's not, there's no bad vibes anywhere. It's
all
like
good.
we just remember the good days.
Gudjonsson, John Terry.
Yeah.
Mikel Forsell.
Yeah.
What name?
Mikel's doing really well as well now. I think he's doing a lot of coaching, giving back. Mikel always intrigues me whenever I think of Mikel, because he was a keen rapper.
But really?
Oh, he used to
Mikel
love rap.
Forsell was a keen rapper.
Keen rapper. So he used to
Drop some bars.
He used to love it. He used to absolutely he loved rap more than me. Like I swear, I was an R&B sort of guy. He's a rap, he just loves everything about rap. You can tell if you go to Mikel and ask him about the history of rap, he'll tell you from top to bottom.
Is he East Side or West Side? Is he?
I haven't got a clue about that.
You don't know?
I don't know, but I just know that he's a keen rap fan, and all I remember with him is he always had headphones on.
Okay.
he always had headphones, and if you took the headphones off, it's rap music that's played.
I'm Tupac, by the way. Biggie's great, but I'm more Tupac.
Okay, I'm both.
Both.
I just love music.
Yeah.
I just love music.
Fair.
Good music, that's me.
Another future manager of Chelsea, Di Matteo, was there. But there's two names which I've always found interesting. One, I think from the outside, he's a bit crazy. Mark Bosnich. You know what I'm talking about. He's crazy, right?
Yeah, he's a really crazy man. I've got a story about that as well.
I'm sure you got a dozen stories.
So I was a YT at the time, scholar, and I think we were kicking the balls down the corridor. We had a long corridor. I think there was a few players on that side. We used to play this game when we used to drill the ball, but it wasn't allowed to touch the walls. It was only a narrow corridor. And this is like how we used to practice our skills and our pings. It wasn't like we were doing it, we just loved to play the game, but obviously in later life it does help you with your football. And we used to just ping this ball down there. But one time, the way the corridors are set up, the scholars are like the first two doors, so the first two changing rooms, then it goes to the reserve team, then it goes later on, it goes to the first team. So now, he came out of the first team door, and then I'd ping this ball straight down the corridor, and it's hit him bang on his head. And he's turned around and he goes, "Who done that? Who done that?" And I was like, "Uh-oh." Everyone else just dispersed like rats.
And you're just
and I was like,
all 6'4" of you, whatever it was.
Yeah, and I was only like a little beanpole. And it hit him, and he was like really angry. And I was like, "Oh, I said, sorry, Bozzo." It's like, I didn't mean it, like, do you know what I mean? But he was still angry, and I started to laugh because I didn't know what to do.
Oh.
It was a nerve. I wasn't being cheeky. It was just a nervous laugh. Like, you know, sometimes as a youth, you don't know how to control your feelings or know how to act in certain scenarios. So you just laugh, because that's the only thing you can go to. Otherwise, because you don't want to cry.
Yeah, of course.
But he was really angry, and he's coming up to me now. He's like, "You want to do that again? Do you want to do that?" I was like, "Oh my God!" Like, I was just still laughing.
Did he go?
So he goes, "I tell you what, me and you out in the car park straight after training."
Oh my God!
And I was like, "All right." So I said, "All right." So of course I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then he's just walked off, and then everyone comes out. well, you're going to fight Bozzo in the car park. And then but at that stage, because I was like the big I am with my colleagues at that time, I was like, yeah, I am. Mate, I swear down, as soon as training finished, I went straight to a change room, got my clothes, didn't even have a shower, and I got off.
You pegged it?
I pegged it, because I didn't want to have a fight with Bozzo. He would have killed me at the time. So, yeah, that's my story. I don't think he remembers it. And you know what? Because I remember that, I think I'd done some work with him, because he's obviously an Aussie. And he's an Australian, and I've done some work with him online. And I didn't mention it, but every time I looked at him, I've got this inferior thing because I remember him calling me out and saying he's going to beat me up in the car park.
It's like me when I saw my headmaster walking around.
Yeah.
I was like, I was a full-grown adult, but I was just like...
He's just got this thing, this complex about it. So, yeah, that's quite a funny story.